Highest,
Is he the highest one? So
Is
there
it?
you go.
95% or something.
Did you, by any chance, see some of today's results?
I did indeed, and that has massively affected.
This season more than ever, there's so much fear of missing out because you're being forced to make choices between big, heavy hitters.
I have watched so much FPL content that I'm now completely at the overthinking stage. Since uploading my last video, which I got lovely comments on, so if you're new here, please do subscribe. But I've experimented with so many drafts. I'm keen to get Solanke and Trent into my team, but it's proving to be more difficult than I expected. Players that came up in every draft were Raya, Trent, Barco, Robinson, Saka and Isak, so it's safe to say they're locked in. The rest revolved around Haaland and Salah. It was 8 AM the day before the deadline and I'm still torn on what to do. There were some weaknesses in my previous draft which I will just go through now. Whilst Murphy has looked really good in pre-season, I think he's just a short-term pick and he's only a cheap alternative to Gordon, who I'd prefer to have in my team anyway. City rumours surrounding Eze are really concerning me at this point. I'm not against having double Forest in my squad because they do have really good fixtures, but I'm not too keen on starting double Forest for the opening game week, especially as I haven't seen a huge amount from Sangare. The Salah-Haaland combination just eats up so much of my funds. Awonai will slowly eat into Wood's minutes until he makes a full return. Vardiol, I've got a fear of Pep Roulette, and Johnson is a minutes risk, and I prefer to go for Solanke as a Spurs attacker. So after a lot of thought and consideration, I have whittled it down to 2 drafts. One's a Haaland draft and one's a Salah draft. So I will show you what they look like, and then you can help me decide which one to go for. This is my Haaland draft. I've kept the same goalkeeper pairing. I know Raya is a lot at 5.5 million, but it is the cheapest route into Arsenal's defence, and I'm planning to play him every single game week, so hopefully it'll be good value for money. And then I've also kept hold of Porro and Robinson. They've got good attacking threat. Porro, I'm definitely not expecting any clean sheets, but there may be some for Robinson, seeing as Fulham's fixtures are a lot kinder. Mykolenko I've also kept in my team. Everton looked very solid defensively, so hopefully that will be replicated this season. Now, the first change that I've made in defence is to take out Vardiol, which I'm not feeling fully confident about. We saw how strong he can be playing at left back. He's a really attacking player. In just 5 starts towards the end of last season, he managed to get 4 goals and 2 assists, during which time I owned him, and it really helped my rank. So I'm not feeling great about taking him out, but there's just something in the back of my mind that says Pep's going to do some wild rotation, so maybe it's one to steer clear of. And also the lure of going for Trent is just too much. I think he's really, really good value for money, and out of all the defenders, I think he's got the highest ceiling. Plus he's on set pieces, so I will be hoping for a couple of goals or assists. Coming into my midfield, I'm relatively happy about this. Obviously we've got Gordon and Saka as the stronger options, and then we've got Smith Rowe and Jota, which are a bit more risky. But we'll start off with Gordon. He is one of my favourite assets, and he was one of the first in my original draft. I absolutely love Gordon. 22 out of 27 of his returns came in home fixtures last season, and obviously in the first 3 game weeks he does play at home twice. I will absolutely be kicking myself if he gets returns and I don't have him in my team. I know I did have Murphy before and it's a good saving which I can invest elsewhere, but Gordon, one of the best assets, plus all signs point to him starting this game week. He played 45 minutes in a recent pre-season friendly, and Hal said that it was always a plan for him to just play those 45 minutes, so he is ready to go for game week 1. I wouldn't be surprised if his minutes were managed in this time. Then I'm taking a punt on Smith Rowe, seeing as I've taken Muniz out of my team. He scored in back-to-back friendlies, which is a really good sign. He's cheap and Fulham have really favourable opening fixtures. Looking at these fixtures, there is no way I can go without a Fulham attacker. Initially, I had Andreas in my first draft, then it went to Muniz, and now we are back to Smith Rowe. I think Andreas's minutes will be affected by the addition of Smith Rowe, so I'm going to go for him and hope that he has a flying start to the season. Jota then fills my empty spot for a Liverpool attacker at a very reasonable price of 7.5 million. Last season, he produced 17 attacking returns in just 14 starts, and he's looked really, really strong in pre-season. Obviously, this is not a long-term option. I definitely want him for Liverpool's opening fixture against Ipswich, but it may be by game week 3, there is another shining star somewhere, 6.5 million maybe, that we've all overlooked that I'll want to bring in, so it'll be quite an easy downgrade to go from there. Then Saka is in. I finally have an Arsenal attacker in the team, which I'm feeling really confident about. I think he's the safest of all Arsenal picks to go for, and I've gone for the higher price point because if we have Ødegaard or Martinelli that suddenly start shining, then I'll just be able to easily downgrade to them instead. But I've seen a lot recently about going for proven assets, and that's something I've tried to put into this team and really think about. And then we come to the man this entire draft is based around, Haaland. He's so expensive, 15 million. It really does eat into your budget, but I am focusing on that Game Week 2 fixture. Maybe it's a bit too pigeonholey, but I think start off with the most expensive asset in the game, and then if for whatever reason I decide to get rid of him, I've got so much money to spend rather than trying to scramble and get Haaland into my team. Then coming into the bench, we've got Fabianski, who will probably never touch my starting 11. We've got Sangari. I'm really excited to see how he fits in with the team this year, and hopefully he'll have a more successful season than he did last year. Then Barco, which is a bit of a questionable option, seeing as Estupiñán was pictured in training this week. But at 4 million, he's happy to just stay on my bench. It doesn't really matter whether or not I play him. I wasn't planning to play him immediately anyway, so I haven't based the team around him, obviously. And it may be that I just wildcard him out in a couple of game weeks' time. And then we've got Robinson, who we touched on, attacking returns, fingers crossed. So now we will have a look at my Salah draft. I haven't had to compromise with defence at all in this draft. I've taken out Mykolenko, I've got Trent, I've got Vardiol, I've got Porro. The only issue is maybe it is a bit too much money in defence, because I'll really be banking on getting those attacking returns from those players. If they don't get attacking returns and they don't keep a clean sheet, then it's a lot of money to kind of throw down the drain a bit. But coming into my midfield, Sangari has been upgraded to Morgan Gibbs-White. I need to get a Forest attacker in there somewhere. He's the most nailed attacker and he's on penalties. I think Gibbs-White is a really good long-term option, and I'm really excited for his fixture in Game Week 3. He's playing Wolves, which is his former club, and I think he will be absolutely determined to score in that one. As I brought in Gibbs-White, Sangari has then been replaced by Rodgers. I don't have any Villa attack. I can't afford Watkins with this current draft or either draft, and that could come to haunt me down the line. But Rodgers got 4 attacking returns in 8 starts, so he looks really, really promising. He's looked really good in pre-season, and he's likely to take the number 10 role for now, but maybe not nailed long term. But whilst it is a risky pick, I think it's high risk, high reward, particularly as Villa have got really, really good fixtures from Game Week 3 onwards. Then up front, Isak is self-explanatory. The one I'm really excited about from this draft is Solanke instead of Haaland. I think Solanke is such an exciting pick, and he's going to have a massive opening game against Leicester. Postecoglou has basically said, yes, he's going to be in the starting 11, so he's a nice route into that nailed Spurs attack. The only other option that I would have considered that is completely nailed, because Brennan Johnson unfortunately is not now, is Son, but Solanke actually beat Son in terms of XG and expected goal involvement last season. He had an amazing season, was Bournemouth's top goal scorer, 19 goals in total. He's aiming for 20, as confirmed in one of those Fantasy Premier League interview videos. So one of the biggest draws to going for Salah is being able to get Solanke in. There is a route for me to get Solanke in with the Haaland draft, but it means downgrading Gordon, and I really like Gordon, so you see my issue there. But Solanke, such a fun pick, and that'll be the highlight probably if I do go for the Salah draft. And then we have got Muniz replacing Chris Wood, a longer term option, and again taking advantage of Fulham's nice fixtures. The bench is very, very similar, so no need to go into that. But yes, that is the Salah draft. Here they are, side by side, the two things that are keeping me up at night. What is my life? Do let me know in the comments what team you think you prefer. There are just so many pros and cons on both. The Solanke pick, oh, that side, the Solanke pick I'm really drawn to, but then this side has Chris Wood, so it's a tough one to weigh up. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Best of luck with the opening game week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.